Alright adventurers, let's talk about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. This game isn't your typical open world experience where you roam around one massive map for hours on end. Oh no, Machine Games decided to spice things up with a globe-trotting chapter-based formula. Each chapter takes Indy to a brand new, beautifully crafted location dripping with mystery and danger as he races to uncover the secrets of the Great Circle before his enemies do. It's like starring in your very own Indiana Jones movie, but with you in control. Now don't expect every location to get the red carpet treatment. Some are sprawling, detail-packed playgrounds that make you want to explore every nook and cranny, while others, let's just say they're more like quick pit stops to keep the story's momentum going. But honestly, it all works perfectly for a game so focused on delivering a thrilling, cinematic experience. Buckle up, because we're about to take a virtual tour of these amazing destinations and see what makes them so special. Ready? Let's dive in! I'm quickly moving on to the video. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching! You know that feeling when you're super hyped to finally explore a legendary location, only to realize it's kind of a letdown? Yeah, that's the Himalayas in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Don't get me wrong, on paper, it sounds epic. The tallest mountain range in the world, the biting cold, the treacherous climbs, it's basically the ultimate Indiana Jones playground. But in reality, it's like the game hit the brakes and asked, what if we make this adventure feel like a never-ending hike? First off, let's talk about the blizzard. It's always there, aggressively in your face, like the Himalayas are trying to say, don't even think about admiring the view. The constant whiteout blocks any real appreciation of the jaw-dropping peaks you know are out there somewhere. Instead of feeling like you're conquering the roof of the world, you're mostly just squinting through the storm and muttering, where's my next checkpoint? And then there's the pacing. Oof! The game slows to a crawl here, forcing you to trudge through knee-deep snow, navigate narrow, crumbling paths, and cross broken bridges that definitely wouldn't pass a safety inspection. Sure, it's tense at first, but after the third near slip into the abyss, you start wondering if you're playing Indiana Jones or some extreme hiking simulator. Honestly, it's hard not to compare it to other games like God of War Ragnarok, where snowy landscapes somehow feel more alive, more dynamic. Here, it's like the Himalayas forgot to bring their A-game. Oh, the Ziggurat of Ur. What a spot to end a whirlwind adventure. But let's be real, this legendary temple in Iraq isn't exactly the star of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Sure, it's iconic, steeped in history, and loaded with atmosphere, but in the game, it's more like a dramatic backdrop than a full-fledged playground for exploration. Think of it as the stage where the final act unfolds, rather than the treasure chest you get to dig into. Now, don't get me wrong, this place knows how to crank up the tension. Nazi guards everywhere, fortified checkpoints, and that heavy air of something's about to go down. It's cinematic, sure, but it feels more like a Call of Duty mission slapped onto an Indiana Jones adventure. The visuals are impressive, the stakes are high, but the temple itself? It's lacking that unique vibe that makes other indie locations so memorable. You won't find any cryptic puzzles or spine-chilling traps here, just soldiers and set pieces. That said, the Ziggurat does serve its purpose. It ramps up the drama for the big finale, throwing you headfirst into the action. And while you might wish for a bit more depth, it's hard to deny the rush of adrenaline as you navigate through this high-stakes battleground. So, while it's not the temple of our dreams, it's still a solid setting for Indy's final showdown. Just maybe don't expect to hang around soaking up the history. The Peruvian jungle. Doesn't it just give you chills of excitement? This lush green haven of danger and mystery isn't just a backdrop. It's a love letter to the unforgettable opening scene of Raiders of the Lost Ark. If you're an Indiana Jones fan, you'll know exactly what I mean. And in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Machine Games knows how to tap into that nostalgia, bringing us straight back to where it all began. Trust me, you won't just feel like you're in Peru, you'll feel like you're in the movie itself. Now, let's talk about the temple. Oh, the temple. It's packed with traps that would make even Indy hesitate. Dart-spewing walls, crumbling pathways, and puzzles that make your palms sweat, this prologue isn't holding back. And just when you start to think, okay, I've got this, bam, you're hit with a betrayal. Yep, a little too familiar if you've seen the movie, right? But that's the genius of it. The game doesn't just reference the original, it reimagines it in a way that makes you go, wait, am I the hero of this story? Spoiler, you totally are. Oh, and the Easter eggs? Let's just say, if you keep your eyes peeled, you're in for a treat. From iconic props to subtle nods to the films, the Peruvian jungle is an absolute treasure trove. It's the perfect kickoff to a South American adventure that feels like a blend of cinematic magic and gaming brilliance. Whether you're dodging traps or piecing together the mysteries of the Great Circle, this location isn't just a setting, it's an experience. Marshall College, where archaeology meets adventure and, let's be honest, the most distracting classroom moments in cinematic history. If you've played Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, you already know this place isn't just a stop on the nostalgia train. It's a whole museum exhibit dedicated to Raiders of the Lost Ark Easter eggs. Seriously, the level of detail here is insane. You can practically hear the whispers of love-struck students, or catch a glimpse of that iconic apple sitting on Indy's desk, like it's waiting for tenure approval. What makes Marshall College stand out isn't just the callbacks, though. It's how Machine Games uses the setting to balance the pace. After the whirlwind intro in the Peruvian jungle, this Connecticut university feels like a much-needed pit stop. It's cozy, familiar, and gives you a chance to soak in the ambiance. But don't get too comfortable. You can almost feel the tension simmering beneath the surface, like the calm before Indy inevitably finds himself dodging bullets, ancient traps, or both. And let's talk about the Easter eggs for a second. These aren't just random knickknacks scattered around, they're love letters to fans. From subtle nods like classroom memorabilia to bigger winks, like a reference to that student who famously wrote her heart on her eyelids, every corner feels alive with personality. This chapter is the perfect way to let you breathe before the adventure hits fifth gear, sending you across the globe in true Indiana Jones fashion. And trust me, once you leave the college, things definitely go sideways. Alright, buckle up, because we're diving straight into Indiana Jones and the Great Circle's Shanghai chapter, a segment that's as chaotic as it is unforgettable. Just when you're catching your breath from the Himalayas, this game tosses you into the fire. Literally. Shanghai is brief, but oh boy, does it make its mark with a set piece that will have you grinning like Indy himself after finding a golden idol. Picture this. The city is under attack, Japanese planes are screaming overhead, and the gorgeous East Asian skyline is lit up. Half by its neon glow, half by everything being on fire. As if that wasn't enough, the action cranks up to 11 when you start leaping across crumbling rooftops like some kind of fedora-wearing parkour master. Buildings are collapsing, flames are licking at your boots, and just when you think it can't get any crazier, you're dangling off the side of a plane with your trusty whip. Oh, and did I mention the turret gun? Yeah, because of course there's a turret gun. You're blasting enemy planes mid-flight while holding on for dear life. It's quick, it's intense, and it's the kind of chaotic fun that makes you wish the game gave you more time to explore the city. But honestly, the sheer adrenaline rush of this sequence more than makes up for it. Shanghai isn't just a chapter, it's a full-blown spectacle, the perfect bridge between the Himalayas and what's next. It's the kind of moment that sticks with you, long after you've moved on to the next piece of Indy's adventure. And really, isn't that what Indiana Jones is all about? Thrills, danger, and just a little bit of fire. Imagine this, you're navigating the lush, vibrant landscapes of Siam, modern-day Thailand, and suddenly the world feels like it's bursting with possibilities. That's what Indiana Jones and the Great Circle delivers when it takes you to Sukhothai, one of the most intriguing and varied locations in the game. This isn't just a pretty backdrop, it's an open-world-inspired playground filled with temples to explore, puzzles to crack, and secrets to uncover. The game masterfully blends the dense, verdant vibes of a Peruvian jungle with serene bodies of water and ancient architecture, creating a uniquely Southeast Asian flavor. And let me tell you, getting to Sukhothai isn't your average point A to point B journey. This is Indiana Jones after all. You'll be swinging from vines with your trusty whip, diving into deep waters, steering a boat through dangerous terrain, and of course, dodging or taking down enemies with some classic Indy-style action. It's a dynamic mix of gameplay that keeps you on your toes and makes every moment feel like you're part of an epic adventure. Just when you think you've seen it all, the game throws another challenge your way, whether it's a tricky puzzle in a crumbling temple or an unexpected ambush. But what really makes this part of the game shine? The NPCs. These aren't your run-of-the-mill side characters. They're vibrant, layered, and crucial to your journey. As you traverse the region, you'll meet locals who hold vital knowledge about the enemy, and you'll definitely need their help to succeed. Whether it's a friendly guide pointing out a hidden pathway or a mysterious ally with their own agenda, these interactions make the world feel alive. Combine all that with the stunning visuals, and it's safe to say this part of the game is one you'll want to savor. Oh, let me tell you, If you haven't made it to Gizeh in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle yet, you are seriously missing out on one of the game's most vibrant locations. Unlike the quieter, more desolate spots we've explored so far, Gizeh is alive. I'm talking bustling markets, colorful tents, and NPCs who feel like they've actually got lives to live. You'll find merchants hawking useful items you'll actually want to buy, whether it's for exploration or, let's be honest, just to feel like you're fully embracing your inner adventurer. And hey, who doesn't love a good disguise mission? Dressing up as a worker to infiltrate the pyramids? Peak Indiana Jones. Speaking of pyramids, can we take a moment to appreciate how absolutely stunning they look in this game? They're massive, intimidating, and you can practically feel the heat of the sun bouncing off the ancient stone. But don't get too distracted by the scenery because things take a wild turn once you're inside. Without spoiling too much, there's a boss fight that flips the whole vibe on its head. It's one of those moments where you realize, oh, this game still has plenty of tricks up its sleeve. And trust me, it's terrifying in the best way possible. What really ties the whole Gizeh chapter together, though, is how well it balances exploration, interaction, and action. You've got this mix of immersive world building with the busy village life and the high-stakes gameplay that kicks in when you're sneaking around or battling that big boss. Honestly, Gizeh feels like the game's way of saying, this is what we can do when we're firing on all cylinders. And man, does it deliver. Alright, let's talk about the Vatican in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Because oh boy, this place isn't just a location, it's a full-on experience. You know that feeling when you step into a game and suddenly everything clicks? That's the Vatican for you. It's where the open-world charm of this adventure really hits you, and trust me, you'll want to stop and just look around. The intricate architecture, the jaw-dropping interiors, it's like Machine Games took a guided tour of real Vatican City and said, alright, but make it cooler. And they did. But wait, it's not just about soaking in the beauty. The Vatican is where the game levels up, literally. You've got puzzles that will have you scratching your head, flipping through adventure books like You're Cramming for an Exam and, drumroll please, your first proper boss fight. It's challenging, it's exciting, and it's got that classic Indiana Jones vibe we all signed up for. Oh, and did I mention, this is where Indy meets Gina, his new companion. They're dynamic, absolute gold. And honestly, can we just appreciate how alive this place feels? Every corner tells a story, every shadow hides a secret. It's not just a setting, it's a character in its own right. If you're not already in love with the game by this point, the Vatican will seal the deal. Trust me, it's one of those levels you'll still be talking about long after you've put the controller down. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.